What is up, everybody? Welcome to the MarkZDrums. I am your host, Mark Zapata. I am the owner and founder of MarkZDrums, and I want to welcome you to my show. On this show, we talk about drums and drumming. We talk about concepts. We talk about all kinds of different things. So, a little bit of background. If you have not seen the show before, if you're brand new to my channel, if you're brand new to the MarkZDrumcast, like I said, I'm the owner and founder of MarkZDrums. I've been teaching for about 12 years, and I've been playing drums since I'm 7 years old. The reason why I'm here, the reason why we are here, is because I have more to offer. I have a lot of great students. I teach a lot of great people, a lot of great young people, but I also have a, hold on, we got to do this while I'm talking to you. I also have an amazing group of young bands that I work with that, there we go. I have an amazing group of young bands that I work with that, see, I need a producer is what I need. That's what I need. I need a producer. I was trying to get this going before, but here we go. You're going to see the process. You're going to see behind the scenes of the process, because for today's show, there's some things I want to be able to show you from overhead. Okay? So, yeah, the other thing that I need to do is I need to open up the chat. All right? All the stuff is here for you, and not only that, but I have to charge my mouse, huh? You know, if you're like me and you have a studio and you have anything going on with electronics, computers, anything like that, there's always these little things that happen. But I will encourage you not to let that stuff deter you from the business at hand, from what you want to do, what you are trying to do. Let me see, let me check that. Even though, you know, when I come in here and I'm getting ready to do the show and I get a message that my my mouse is pretty much dead and I have to kind of get a little bit, what is this? Another message. And then I have to kind of scramble and get it charging for a little bit. Let me go up 3, a little bit more on my mic. Hello, hello, hello. I don't want to go too much. But then, here I am, right? So I did not let that deter me from the task at hand, which is talking to you wonderful people. And so what are we going to do today? I'm going to talk about, oh, that's why. Hold on a second. That should be better, huh, Jerry? And I want to, at least I hope that everybody appreciates this behind the scenes look, right? What you see is what you get of it all here on the MarkZDrumcast, where whatever goes on, you know, there's no curtain, there's no veil here. It's all out here for you to see, because I'm a normal guy who has spent my life playing drums, who loves playing drums, and all I want to do is help other people who want to play drums to be able to do that. All I want to do is show people the things that I've learned in my career, the things that I've experienced, the knowledge that I have from my many, many years of drumming. So what we're going to do today is I kind of like this idea of gamifying our playing, okay? And I did I did a show on it a couple of shows back, and I think it's called Gamify Your Fills or Gamify Your Drumming. And the idea is to figure out ways to make your practice time and your playing time a game. Now, video games for years and years. I'm a big video game player. I've taken a little bit of a break, but I have been known to rock the Xbox for a long time. But so years and years ago, games started to introduce this idea of achievements. And so not only did you have your objective in the game that you needed to find this or rescue that person or whatever the goal was in your game, they started to add these achievements that you can accomplish on your way to the bigger goals. And you would get small prizes here and there, whether it's, experience points or currency within the game, whatever it is, you would get this stuff as you were doing your achievements. And achievements could be something like, defeat so many enemies in a certain amount of time, spend so much time, using a certain weapon for an amount of time, and you would get an achievement. Finding hidden objects. That's always my favorite thing. When I'm playing in a game, no matter what kind of game it is, I always find myself searching for hidden objects and items around corners and, in caves and things like that, because I enjoy finding stuff like that, extra stuff. So I like those exploring games. So the idea of achievements is a brilliant idea, because what it does is it taps into the reward center of our brains, and it keeps us playing, because hey, we want to get that little thumbs up, that little reward. Hey, you got this achievement, pat on the back, congratulations, great job. So that became a big part of gaming, and sometimes you would even forget the main objective, and you would start to be trying to get these certain achievements because you wanted this certain weapon or this certain piece of armor, whatever it was. So when I'm dealing with a lot of my students who are younger people, the idea of games is very effective in teaching. Just like you've heard the philosophy of teaching through music, because it helps students to learn, because they enjoy the music, and then it helps them retain the information. The same thing with gamifying our practice time or our exercises, the things that we do, because then we can offer them those rewards for those achievements. When they reach those smaller goals as we're moving forward, we can give them those extra rewards. So I'm going to show you a couple of games that I play. In that other video, I think I showed the 4-2-4-2 game, but this is something different. We're going to talk about fills today. And we have been talking about fills, but fills are so super important. Good, thank you. And fills are so super important because fills are, they're heralds, right? They're heralding a change in the song. Something different's going to happen. And we play a fill to kind of signal that change, maybe from a verse to a chorus, from a chorus to, a solo part, intro to verse, whatever it is. A fill will kind of signal, not only to the band if we're playing live, but to the listener, to the audience, that something's happening. And it's also a punctuation point in a song. So fills can be very, very effective in creating interest in the song and breaking things up. If we're just playing a beat through the song, there are plenty of songs that have this just constant, steady beat, especially maybe the dance songs or the pop songs. There's nothing really to break that stuff up, but that's the type of music it is. It's supposed to be driving constantly. So when we're talking about other types of music, let's say rock music, which is what I grew up listening to and playing, we want to use fills to create interest. We want to break up the sections of music, and we want to use those fills to mark those changes in the song. So what about fills? When I talk to my students about creating fills, I give them tools, and I say, well, like I said in the other show, we have a certain amount of materials, building blocks that we can use to create fills, or some might call it vocabulary, right? The more words we know, the more eloquently we can write. and the more expressive we can be in our writing if we know more words. But in drumming, it's the same thing. We have phrases, we have rhythms, we have certain things that we can play, we have dynamics where we can play louder or softer, we can add accents. All of these different things combined can create more interesting drumming. So when we're talking about fills, one of the most important things is when we decide what we're going to play, how long is that fill going to be? And based on how long that fill is going to be, then we know where to place it in the bar, right? We know where to put it within the 4 beats that we're working with. If we're in 4/4, let's keep it simple. We'll stay in 4/4 for now. That's common time, the most common time signature, 4/4. 4 beats per measure. The bottom number 4 lets us know that 1 quarter note gets 1 beat. So it gives us a context to work with. So within those 4 beats in that measure, where are we going to start that fill? That depends on how long it is. Where are we going to end that fill? And we want to make sure that based on the length of the fill, we start it in the right time so we can end it at the right time. For the most part, fills are going to occur near the end of the bar so that when we're done with the fill, we can hit the 1 of the next measure or the next bar and continue on with the beat until we play another fill. So I've been working with a certain student whose beats are super solid. They're really sounding tight. They're really sounding powerful. He's got confidence. And so the next step is to help him with his fill creation and his fill placement and the counting aspect of it, understanding where we are in the beat, where we are in the bar or the measure, so that we can determine what we should be playing as a fill, and we know we're coming back to the beat in the right spot. So as I like to do when we do these new exercises or work on something new, I like to keep everything simple so that we can concentrate on the concept that we're working on and that we're not really filling our minds with all these extra things that we don't really need right now. Firstly, I want to pick a fill. You could pick your favorite fill, something simple. I'm going to pick a 3-note fill, 1 E end, 2 E end, 3 E end, 4 E end, like this. And the fun part about this exercise is we're going to start out at a certain place, and then we're going to raise the challenge level up. We're going to raise the difficulty level up. I like to use the word challenge. We're going to make it more challenging as we go. And it's going to become more and more fun because now we're challenging ourselves. We're pushing ourselves into an area maybe we're not comfortable with. And that's exactly where we want to be. We want to be in an area we're not comfortable in because that's where the growth occurs. Right? So we're going to start out by playing 4 beats of a rock beat. And then I'm going to go into the second bar. And then I'm going to play this simple fill on the 4. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 E end. All right, that's going to be the fill on the 4. And it's going to be 4 E end. Let me show you an example. So we're going to do 1 measure of beat, and then we're going to do our fill in the second measure. And then once we're done with our fill, we're going to play a measure of beat. And in the next measure, we're going to play a different fill. But for right now, I just played a beat for a rock beat for 4 beats. And then I went into the next bar and played a fill on the 4. So the reason why I'm playing the fill on the 4 is because I'm playing a 1 beat fill. It occurs within 1 beat. And because I'm playing a 1-beat fill, I want to make it the last beat of the measure, which is the 4, which makes sense because 4 E and 1. And then I come back into the beat on the 1. So let's change it up a bit. I'm going to do a 1-beat fill, and then I'm going to do a 2-beat fill. Now, when we do a 2-beat fill, where do we need to start the 2-beat fill? 1, 2, 3, or 4-beat? That's right. We need to start it on the 3. 3 E and 4 E and. 2 beats, 3 and 4, that's where we're going to be filling. So we're going to try that now. Here we go. Couple of things to keep in mind. I am now starting this fill, because it's a 2-beat fill, on beat 3. We're going to play beat 3 and beat 4 as a fill before we go to the next measure. If we are playing a 2-beat fill starting on the 3, that means we're not going to play the bass drum we normally play on the 3. That's where we're going to start the fill. So keep that in mind. If we're playing a 1-beat fill on the 4, normally we hit the snare drum on the 4. We're not going to hit the snare drum hi-hat like we do during the beat. We're going to start the fill on the 4 where that snare drum is supposed to go. So a little reference for you to kind of keep that in mind so that when you are going through this, you're like, wait a minute, I'm not going to play that bass drum on the 3-beat. That's where I'm going to start my fill. Let's do a 3-beat fill. Where would we start a 3-beat fill? That's right, on the 2. 2 E and, 3 E and, 4 E and, boom. 3-beat fill starts on the 2. What do we normally play on the 2? We normally play hi-hat snare drum on the 2. So we're going to replace that with the fill, 2 E and, 3 E and, 4 E and. Let's listen to that, what that's going to sound like. So there you have 3-beat fill starting on the 2. And of course, finally, what do we start if we want to do a 4-beat fill? If we're going to take the entire measure, all 4 beats, and play a fill, we're going to, of course, start on the 1. This is what that sounds like. Okay, here's where the fun begins, because now that we can do these things, and keep in mind, I have a habit of playing stuff way too fast for my students. And then I always have to remind myself to remind them, you don't have to play it this fast. You're just learning this, so play it slow. I have to get better at when I'm showing my students something, taking it slow for their sake, right? Taking it slow for them. And not making them feel like, oh, I have to play it as fast as he's playing it. No, not at all. Everything that we're doing when we start, take it slow as you need to. It doesn't matter how slow you play it, as long as you're playing it evenly and you're comfortable with the figure that you're playing. You're comfortable, you understand it, and you understand the whole concept. Do it as slow as you need. We will always be able to get faster down the road when we get more comfortable with what we're learning. So don't worry about the speed now. Worry about doing it properly, doing it on time, and of course, having fun. We can always increase the speed. And you know what? You don't even have to consciously increase the speed, because as you get more comfortable doing these exercises, you'll just naturally start to speed up because you'll be more comfortable, you'll just naturally start to tick up the speed. And then at some point, you can consciously start working at trying to do it faster after you've gotten very comfortable with it. So we've played a 1-beat fill on the 4, a 2-beat fill on the 3, a 3-beat fill on the 2, and a 4-beat fill on the 1. Let's mix it up, shall we? Let's go. You know, this is where the game part comes in, because now we have to really start thinking. As I throw this out, and now we are mixing and matching, right? So let's do 1, 3, 2, 4. Okay, 1, 3, 2, 4. I hope I remember these numbers when I do this exercise with you. I'm going to slow it down. I think I said 1, 3, 2, 4. Yes. All right, so we're going to do 1, 3, 2, 4. First time a 1-beat fill, the second time a 3-beat fill, the third time a 2-beat fill, the fourth time a 4-beat fill. Here we go. I did not slow that down 1 millisecond, did I? No, I did not. But I did get it right. We're going to do it again, and I'm going to slow it down. Okay, so we're going to do 1, 3, 2, 4. Go ahead back and rewind this if you're watching this at a later time. It's a really cool and fun exercise that, again, we can expand. Any of these exercises or things that I like to come up with, I like to make them simple at first, and then we can expand. We can always expand a simple idea or a simple concept by using our imagination. And then as we expand it, it gets more challenging, and it helps us to grow. That's how we learn. That's how we get better. That's how we become more coordinated and faster and increase our timing. All of that stuff is by taking a simple idea, grabbing a hold of it, and then starting to slowly expand it so that we can grow from it. Okay, so that's a fun exercise we can do. How would we expand, right? How would we grow this idea? Well, the first thing, obviously, we would maybe start to work on increasing the speed. We would work on this exercise, and we would come up with different combinations. I just did 1, 3, 2, 4. We can do 4, 2, 3, 1. We can do 4, 3, 3, 1. Any combination. We could do all 4s. We could do all 1s, like I started out with. We can do any combinations we want. Much like the 4, 2, 2, 4 exercise that I was working with you guys on a previous Drumcast. Once you get that basic idea going, that's where you can start to mix and match, change things around, and try to challenge yourself to get more and more intricate and challenging with these exercises. So the first thing we can do is we could try to increase the speed. Then we could start to mix up all these different numbers. But then the beautiful part is we can choose a more challenging fill to do instead of 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. We can do 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 E, a 2 E, a 3 E, a 4 E, right? We can do any combination of fills, and then we could start mixing and matching those fills. Maybe the first time we do 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. maybe the second time we do 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. The third time maybe we do triplets, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, and then do different combinations of 1, 2, 3, and 4 beat fills using triplets, 8th note triplets, 16th note triplets. Then start mixing and matching. Triplets, straight 16th notes, 8th notes, 32nd notes, whatever you want to do, right? So that's how we start. We start to gradually expand the idea into something more challenging. And like I always like to say, challenge accepted. Whatever it is, that's why I use the word challenge. Challenge accepted is way better than it's hard. This is difficult. That is pretty much a finite statement. This is hard. And we leave it at that. When you say this is challenging, okay, well, what are we going to do about it? There's a next step when we call it a challenge. Because I don't know if anybody is out there has the same experience that I do. If my friends challenge me to something, it's on. You know what I mean? I'm going to do it. No matter what I have to do, if I'm challenged, I'm going to do everything in my power to accept that challenge and meet that challenge. So I encourage all my students to say, instead of, wow, this is hard, this is difficult, this is challenging. Because what do we do with the challenge? We meet the challenge, we accept the challenge, we overcome the challenge. So it's just one of those little things. To change a word changes also our mindset. So that is the game today. What I would like to do is let you guys know that I have a brand new drum cover coming out soon. And so the drum cover will be available first on my Patreon, MarkZDrums at Patreon. Then it will be available on YouTube to everybody. When it's on Patreon, it'll be available to members on my Patreon. It will then become available on YouTube. But exclusively on Patreon will be a breakdown of that drum cover. All right, so you will see me playing the song, and then I will explain to you what I'm doing. I will explain to you the different parts of the song and how it all comes together in a song breakdown. So you will get the drum cover, which is really cool. I'm not going to tip my hand yet as far as what it is, but some of you may have seen on my social media a little teaser of this drum cover. So this is coming very soon, and in fact, it's in the editors right now. The drum cover is coming soon, and then very soon after that, once the drum cover goes to my YouTube channel, MarkZDrums on YouTube, the song breakdown and drum cover will be available on my Patreon for members. So if you like the drum cover, you want to see how the song is to be played, you want to know how to play the song, head on over to my Patreon. That is one of the exclusive membership perks that you will get, besides helping me out and supporting me in what I'm trying to do, which is my online drumming course and the book that I'm writing currently. You will also get access to these types of things. And you'll get a sticker. You'll get a sticker. It's an awesome sticker. Also, if you have been on my socials, MarkZDrums on Instagram, TikTok, things like that, you will have seen the sticker that you will be getting. But anyway, enough about that. I want to thank you for joining the show today. I hope you got something out of the fills. Let's do a quick summary. We need to know how long we want our fills to be in order to know where to place them in the bar or in the measure. And once we decide that, we need to count, and we need to make sure we're starting the fill in the right place. We're ending the fill in the right place so that we can start the next measure with a rock beat. Okay, basic stuff, using a very simple fill, and then doing 1, 2, 3, and 4 beat versions of that fill, and then mixing and matching. Okay, so again, thanks for coming out. Thanks for sharing this time with me. It's a beautiful day here on the East Coast of the United States, in the Northeast, I should say. And if my mouse works, if it's sufficiently charged, I will be able to end this stream. And thank you all for hanging out Thanks, Jerry. I will see you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend.